Yeah. How many years now have you been a comic?
I'd say probably like 10 because the
Wow,
pandemic
10
was,
years.
was a little bit difficult. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of variables where it seemed like on and off, but I think I'll just accumulate everything into 10 years. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know
Yeah.
this. And you're pretty at 20. Wow.
Yeah. It is nuts to think about like it's been 10 years of pursuing something like this, because it feels like it's just gone by so quickly.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it also makes me grateful because I've met some of my closest friends through stand-up comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
Oh,
also go on.
yeah. Oh, the networking and everybody else in the same struggle as you.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like people that get it, because like sometimes when you pursue something creative, you can't really talk to your family that much about it because they don't entirely understand what it is to do that if they're not already a creative family. So to have
Yeah.
other people that you can vent to, like, oh, this sucks, or I want to get this, or this is the next thing that I want. It's cool that there's people that can hear you and understand what you want.
Yeah, yeah. You do need that, especially when because I remember before I moved to LA, I told a friend, because it's a very interesting story why I got my SAG card, but I remember telling a friend of mine, um, it was a way out for me to actually like Hollywood opened the door because I wasn't able to get any regular job for years.
Yeah.
So, and I remember telling a friend of mine, and she was like, we need to check on, and I was living at Vegas in the time. And
Wow.
she goes, that dream is so unrealistic. I remember her like telling me something like I was practically crazy.
Yeah, that's
You know?
because they don't understand it.
Yeah, yeah,
And I think like there's like a healthy balance of people that like say no, you shouldn't, and then people that encourage you, because then it kind of like plays to you deciding how much do you really want this.
yeah, yeah. You do need the people like checking you.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
there's also like the part, I guess, like the small part of me that has like spite in the sense of like, no, I want to prove you wrong. I want to prove to you that I can do this thing because I believe enough in myself to accomplish these things, you know?
yeah. How does so when you first told your family, how did they all
React.
yeah, react and deal with it?
Well, I remember my mom was like picking me up from school, right? And
Hmm.
it was so like I think I just was thinking about it too much. I thought about it too much, and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna tell my mom that I want to do stand up. What is she gonna think of this? And just like in my head, I felt so scared. But then I was like, hey, mom, I think I want to be a stand up comic. I think I want to do this. And there was like a beat, and she's like, why? You're not even funny. But the thing was like I think she meant it like in this not like in a malicious way, but more like she had never seen me be funny at home. And
Hmm.
like I could get that, like if there's like no evidence of like you being funny or a prankster, then like saying I want to be a stand-up seems like so out of left field. But since then she's come around so much, and she like goes to my shows, and she regularly asks like when's your next one. And it
Oh,
yeah, and sometimes
oh,
there's like little like I guess moments of embarrassment, but I know it's just like pride from her. But like she'll tell me like, yeah, I found your YouTube clips and I was showing my friends and stuff like that, and like that's so sweet to me.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet. My mother would be like broadcasting everywhere. My I
Yeah.
saw a meme. In fact, I saw a meme and it was showing my mom after I told her a secret and there was a camera crew and everything there to the news. But that's sweet. She started going to and you're the oldest of four, right?
Yeah, I'm the oldest of four kids, so I have a brother that's going to be 21 next
Uh-huh.
month, and then twin siblings, boy and girl, they're going to be 16 this week. So yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. Okay, you're the youngest out of so the twins are just 16.
They're just 16, yeah. Then the next one is 21, and then myself 27. So we're all kind of like 6 years apart. I kind of like joke around that I got like a new sibling every time my dad was out of jail, is what it felt like.
Oh man, a new sibling every time. So your father was a gangster?
Yeah,
too,
well,
or
like the way that he like says it is like I was never in a gang, but like he was kind of like around all these things that were
hmm
happening. So it's
hmm
interesting 'cause, like I just like being around that world, I feel like really like shaped my perception of like what I believe in and things like that. Like I feel like I understand like how difficult it was for them to get a job, how difficult it was for them to provide, and like the resources that they had access to were so limited. So sometimes it felt for them like that was the only option that they had to provide for the people that they cared about, you know?
yeah. It is hard. People don't realize that when they incarcerate somebody, when they come out, they're like, they have limit, they can't just get a job just like anybody else. It's very difficult.
Yeah, you get those job applications. You have to check the box of like I went to prison and all these sort of things, and it just it sucks because like people kind of have this image of you before they really even meet you, and that's what's really difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah. And then they per it's just, and also this country doesn't teach in the school like how to be have your own business, which
Yeah,
is kind of sad.
there's a lot of life skills that I feel like schools don't really teach folks to have, because I feel like it's just this idea of like education leads to higher education and then you get
Yeah.
like your dream job, when there's so many different ways to succeed. I mean, like in the way that we're talking about like the arts, you've achieved success and been able to do it through different means, and I've been able to do it through different means, but we're still making it, we're still doing
Right.
it. We didn't have to just do one thing to get to the where we're at.
Right. And when I lived in LA, what I thought was just this was the thing. It was so deceiving when I lived in LA because growing up, and I grew up in like Florida, the area,
Yeah,
watching TV, all I saw was white faces. And
yeah,
I moved to LA, and all of LAPD is predominantly Mexican. A
yeah,
majority of I remember recently seeing a teacher strike, all Mexican, right?
yeah,
Like I'm looking at all brown faces. And I there was so many jobs like on set, so many different unions when I did work like on TV shows or movies or whatever. And I'm like, why is there not no programs to show the residents, the locals, like, look, if you like to sew, you can get, the in I think I forgot what union it is, but it's the grip union actually for the department,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, like everything that there's all these different skills that you could do on set, and you're right in Los Angeles. Why aren't schools like incorporating stuff with the studios
Yeah.
to get people? And it's kind of
It is like a little, it is, I mean, it is disappointing that that's not like the case where you can show people the other
mhm,
worlds that are there. And like
yeah,
to what you're saying, I feel like just being able to like you can't be what you can't see, right? So like to
right,
just show kids that they can be all these other things, I think is so important and valuable,
yeah,
like that I had I not seen stand up, I don't know what I would be pursuing right now, like this has been
right,
the best outlet for creativity and for frustration for me, like if something has been difficult, I'll talk about it. Um and it's felt so reprieving,
wow, yeah, God, that's great. You found at such a young age, and
Yeah.
it guided you. And you, so how old exactly were you when you first 10
Yeah.
years old?
When I saw stand up, I was like 10 years old, so like maybe fifth grade, could be 11 years old, but yeah,
Wow.
fifth grade
And
is when I
it just stuck in your mind. That's amazing.
yeah. It's
Because
also like
people,
it
oh, what
also
were
like
you gonna say?
sorry. Also like I think I wasn't really exposed to the arts a lot. Like my family doesn't come from like a place that like loves the arts. They're like
Mhm,
very working class. My grandpa worked in a grocery store his whole life. My other grandfather worked for Edison as like the custodian and such. And so
mhm,
I felt like a lot of their fear, I think too, was that stand up doesn't have stability, and the jobs that they
mm,
pursued had that stability and security. So anything that felt away from that seemed like a bad idea to them.
yeah, yeah, they're like, "Go get your pension,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
health
yeah.
insurance." Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.